Welcome back to Droffats TV. Let's talk about the 140-pound division. We got a world title clash between Dalton Smith and the WBC champ Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias, he's actually tested positive for ostarine back in November during a VADA out of competition test. Both his A and B samples came back with adverse findings. Now, usually that's a fight over situation, but here's where it gets interesting. The New York State Athletic Commission says the concentration of ostarine was so low, it's actually below the threshold used by major commissions like in Nevada or California. Because the levels were so tiny, they're classifying it as accidental ingestion from contaminated supplements. Does that sound familiar? You remember who else that happened to in 2024? The WBC is letting the fight go ahead on January 10th, but they put Matias on a 12-month probation. One more slip up and he's looking at an indefinite suspension. Despite the drama, Dalton Smith and his team are not backing down. They've made it clear they're staying in the fight. Smith is 18-0, and this is a massive world title opportunity, he's been hunting for. He's largely known in the UK to the British fan base, not really known here in the US. But listen, he's clearly not letting this news rattle the camp. Look, this adds a whole different layer of intensity to the build-up. You've got Matias, who's an absolute powerhouse with 23 wins. His only loss was to Liam Paro a few years ago. And then you have the clinical, undefeated skill of Dalton Smith. Honestly, I'm looking at this and I have no idea who's going to come out on top. A lot of people are making predictions, asking for predictions. But for me, this is, a true 50-50 fight. On one hand, you have the champion's power and nonstop pressure style. On the cloud, this testing situation, testing positive for ostarine. On the other side, you have the hungry, elite British fighter who feels it's his time. It's a pick'em if I've ever seen one. Don't forget, this fight will be in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center and will be broadcast on pay-per-view.com. It'll run you about $60. That's all I got for today. Leave your comments below, smash the like button, and subscribe to Droffats TV.